Hi, I'm Allan Karl, keynote speaker, world rider, digital marketing strategist with ClearCloud. And I'm here to bring with you again yet another one of my social media digital marketing tips of the week. Now I know a lot of you are probably already involved in some sort of social media program. And others, I think, are probably taking an ad hoc approach, trying to test the waters, figure out whether it's working or how to do it better. Well, building anything, whether you're building a business, building a home, building a social media marketing program, it requires two critical steps. Okay, the first is simply a plan, a design, okay, a strategy. And the second is building a strong foundation from which you can stand and build on and grow. This week's social media and digital marketing tip is designed to help you fast track and get started on designing a plan, a strategy, and building a strong foundation from which you can stand and build an excellent and an effective social media program. Okay? Now, there are 5 keys to designing a strategy and building a foundation. And the first is not unique at all to social media, but it's critical. And that is defining your objective. What is it that you want to achieve? And this should be as much qualitative as it is quantitative, right? And it can't be something as simple, I want more followers, friends, or likes, or I want to increase sales. No, it's strategy, remember. We got to talk about the how. Perhaps you want to enhance customer support and improve your reputation online and offline. Or maybe you're constantly up against 1 or 2 competitors that you would love to highlight your core benefits and differentiate yourself from that competition. That'll increase sales. Or maybe you want to become the de facto expert, the go-to person in your subject or field. Or is it that you're about to launch a new product or service and you want to create more awareness and increase buzz around that? No matter what your business is in, no matter what your social media efforts are going to be, you need to have a clearly defined objective and write that down. Okay? And number 2 is simple too. With your objective in mind, you need to determine what messages relate to, are relevant, and reinforce that objective. And you need to write those messages down. It could be 1 or 2, it could be 5 or 7, but I would say no more. And write them down too. Because the third key point is content. In the social media and digital marketing circles, you'll read or hear a lot about content strategy. It's become kind of a buzzword, but it's true. You really need to define the type of content you can use that will help convey and communicate those messages, which are going to work to achieve your objectives. So once you define the type of content you can use, you then need to know what you need to create, source, and share. Now, notice I said source. While you will be responsible for creating a lot of content, it's important to know that crucial to social media success is engagement. And there are probably a lot of others that have created content out there in the social network sphere that have actually created content that will help you convey and communicate and reinforce those messages. So you need to know where to source that. Okay? And write those down as well. Now, the 4th key to designing a social media plan and building a strategy is perhaps where the foundation really gets laid, and that is your blog. It's your base. Now, if your company is not blogging, doesn't have a blog or blogs, and is not using this powerful tool, it's time to wake up. Because this is going to be the hub and the resource center for your social media program. Now, let me explain. Now, we've defined our objectives, we've got messages, and certainly we're creating or sourcing content, and we do need to share that. Where are we going to do that? We need a place to host this stuff. That's where the blog comes in. And you know, your blog is kind of like your own social network. Because here on your blog, you've got the audience. It's your page, and it's your page. It doesn't have the distraction that you have in all the other social media. Now, granted, we'll come back to that because we're going to use the social media to bring people to your blog. But you got to look at your blog as the hub of your social media program. Okay? Now, if you could do it, let's make this part of the tip interactive. Okay? Do me a favor. you have to pause the video or on your desk, wherever you are, grab a piece of paper and a pen. And in the middle of that piece of paper, I want you to write or draw a circle. Yeah, go ahead, just a circle. And in the middle of the circle, I want you to write my blog or your blog, our blog. Our blog. Okay? Now look at that and think of this as the hub. Think of it as the sun around which all of your other social media activity is going to revolve. Okay? Because now we move into the fifth key to building a successful or designing a strategy and building a foundation for your social media program. And that is, of course, social networks, because they do play an important part. Now, social networks are the actual sites out there, such as Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and so on, where you will use to drive traffic to your blog. Again, your hub, your resource center, where all your content is going to reside. Yeah, you may replicate this content elsewhere, but this is your content. So now, it's hard in step 5, in the fifth key, you need to determine which social networks you can effectively engage and update on a consistent basis. Okay? And you have to be realistic. Which and how many you can use. Now you might say, okay, well, Allan, you got to give me some meat here. Well, I mean, obviously, you're going to need to work and use Facebook. I mean, 99% of the businesses and individuals out there, you must have a Facebook page. It's ubiquitous just by sheer numbers. So I would say definitely Facebook be one of your social networks that you should use. And second, Twitter. Again, probably for the same reasons. Now, if you're in the business to business, you probably want to look at LinkedIn. Or if you're a more consumer-based business, check out YouTube or others. Okay? Now, obviously, there are plenty of other social media networks that you can use. I mean, Google+, Pinterest, Flickr, Tagged. I mean, there are plenty. But we'll get to those later. The key is not diluting yourself off the bat. Stick to 2, 3, and maybe 4. Now, what I want you to do, you've still got that paper out in front of you. Let's just go ahead and take the 3 or 4 social networks that you're going to use and draw little circles like planets around that sun, around that hub. And in each one of those circles, I want you to write the name of the social network. Or if you're artistically inclined, go ahead and draw their little logo, because they've certainly got strong brands out there. And then from those circles, I want you to draw a line, each circle directly to the big circle where your blog is. Okay? Now you're starting to picture how this is going to work. We are going to take those social networks and use them to drive traffic, deliver information on your blog. Okay? Now, this is where it's real important. As I said, don't choose too many, because, frequency and consistency is much more important than quantity. And you need to be able to engage and update on a consistent basis. Without that, your plan is just going to be diluted and you won't be effective at all. Okay, so part of being consistent is determining when you're going to be able to engage and update. So, underneath this diagram, this plan that we're starting to build, I want you to draw a series of square boxes next to each other in a horizontal line. One for each day of the week that you plan to engage and utilize social media. So if you're going to be a 5-day-a-week, Monday through Friday, put 5 boxes there, Monday, and in each box, write MT, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. And if you're going to do it Saturday through Sunday, 7 boxes on there. Okay, now you've got that. Above you, you've got your hub, your blog, your company blog. Around that are all the social networks you're going to use. Now, below that, you've got the days of the week that you're actually going to be involved in social media. Now, I don't want you to get tied up in on Tuesdays I've got this meeting, I can't do that, because remember, there are tools we can use to schedule and kind of drip slowly our social media content. Okay, so it's really more about what kind of content you have, what you can create and source, how often you can use that and make it unique. You don't want to be repeating things too many times. Real important. So now you've got the days of the week in front of you, you've got your social networks, you've got your blog. Underneath each of those days of the week, write a number. And that number represents how many times that day you will have something dripped out. You will deliver content out to your blog and the social media. Now, one of the things I will tell you is that in most of these social networks, you've got about 140 characters. You've got a status message, you've got a little summary, whatever it is. It's not a lot. So it's going to be key to use that to tease your audience online of what information and content you can deliver to them that will be relevant and intriguing and compelling. Okay, and that content, of course, we've already talked about, is going to achieve your objective and communicate those core messages. So now what we've done here, if you think about it, we've defined our objective, what we're trying to achieve in social media. We've defined the core messages that relate to or relevant and reinforce that objective. We've determined what kind of content that we can use in order to convey and communicate these messages. And we've built a blog that's going to serve as our hub, our social media hub. That's our resource center for all of this content. And we've determined which social networks we're going to use to draw attention and drive people and traffic to our blog so we can communicate and share this content. That, my friends, social media strategy, design, and plan is what you can then build upon and grow and be more effective and certainly get results from your social media program. So I'm Allan Karl, keynote speaker, world writer, and digital marketing strategist for ClearCloud. And this has been another social media and digital marketing tip of the week. So get out there and build something, okay? And have fun. Until next time, smile.